Greetings, everybody. Hi. Um, yeah, welcome. It's a beautiful day in Madison today, and we got a lot of rain the other day. Got 2 inches of rain, so at least where I live. So everything is really fresh. It's great. Um, so good to see you all. And so this evening, we're going to focus on the lower dantian and the middle dantian. So that is the abdomen area and then the center of the chest, the heart area. Um, and the ancients taught Qigong and Taoism um, according to very, very old shamanic truths that they were embodying and teaching. So the lower dantian, that is so in a female, it would be the womb, actually, um, and the area below the navel and in the middle of the body um, uh, is considered in the system is considered a center of chi. Um, it's called a field. The translation for the Chinese, according to my teacher Trisha Yu, is that it's a field of energy that's there. And translating that into a little more modern terms, so we talk about your gut feeling about something, or a person having guts, person having strength or stamina or courage, a person who's very grounded and strong is centered in the lower dantian. And the lower dantian is the three manifestations of qi. It's the ancestral or native natural qi. So this is, if interestingly, in neuroscience, they've identified three different brains that evolved through evolution. Evolved first one, and then another one on top, and then another one on top. And so that's the lizard brain, um, uh, Broca's brain, the what the reptiles use to survive. That's a brain. It's a form of consciousness, and it's very much based on um, uh, getting and running away from. So it's the basic drive to survive is what the brain's for, and it did a very, very good job of enabling early life forms to survive. So we have that. That's the reptilian brain, and then much, much, much later developed what they call the mammalian brain, the limbic brain, which occurs in mammals. And if you have a dog or a cat, or a horse pretty well, uh, you you can relate to them in a way that you cannot relate to a lizard or an ant, because they have emotions. And so there's, over top of this lizard brain, is this mammalian brain, which is the center of emotional connection, so which we have. Okay, so the first one the ancients placed in the belly, the second one in the middle dantian, in the heart. Okay, and then there's the higher brain, the prefrontal cortex, which occurs in social mammals, and particularly in humans, very developed in humans, and that's a much, much later addition to the evolutionary process. And that would be the upper dantian, which we're not going to focus on that one today. But so we have all of these, and the amygdala, the neuroscientists tell us, is the fight, flight, and freeze. That's the lowest brain. Okay, and then our ability to relate to other people. That's the middle dantian. Okay, so the ancients just identified this because they didn't have a concept of the mind being separate from the body. It was one thing. So here I'm moving from my hara, from my lower dantian, you know. So if I'm a martial artist, I'm going to defend myself. I want to be in my hara. I want to be in my lower dantian because that's where my fight and flight consciousness is. Okay. Um, if I'm going to be loving, if I'm going to be kind, then I'm evoking these more refined qualities, human qualities. So the chi in the lower dantian is more coarse. It's more it's sort of red. As a color, if you look at the rainbow, it would be the lowest vibration. They even call it red. And then as it gets higher up, it becomes more refined, and then we're able um, to relate to the environment and to people and so on. So we're just going to be doing our positions of movements and so on, and with these two dantians in mind, being aware that it's just like water. So water can exist as ice, very, very dense. That would be chi that's natural, chi, ancestral chi. Water can exist as water flowing, and that would be the middle dantian. And water can exist as steam, which is the most refined, the most diffuse, and that's the upper dantian. Okay, so it's just this sort of convenient system that they develop, and that's carried on in Qigong. And any Qigong you study or observe, uh, they'll talk about these three different centers. Okay, and the last thing I want to mention is, well, what is it? How does this relate to the chakras? Everyone always asks that, and it's two slightly different takes on the same thing. So the chakras, that's based in the Vedic tradition from India, and this comes out of the Taoist tradition or the shamanic traditions of China. So they both pretty much arrived at the same, you know, levels of consciousness as manifested in the body. It's just that in the Taoist system, there are three primary ones. Then there are actually five, because there's one below and one above. And then in the Vedic system, then they identify seven. But don't let it bother you. If you're familiar with the chakras and that's what you like to think of this as, that's totally fine. Nobody is going to flip over in their grave, because they were all actually cremated. So, but no one is going to care if you have a different take on this, and I certainly won't. So, okay, enough about that. So let's get started, and I will change the view here. This is a secret movement. um, if you see somebody doing this, if you're driving across country and you stop at a rest area, or if you're in a park in some city or somewhere, if you see somebody doing this, they are a Tai Chi practitioner. Okay, so this is kind of a secret code. If you see them doing this, then run up to them and smile at them and do it with them. And then you can go through the whole form together and do the whole thing. But this is probably the most widespread Tai Chi movement. Actually, the reason that I'm here right now doing this with you, and the reason you're here, is because I happen to be in a park. Um, I was an artist, and I was at an art fair in Chicago, and I was there early in the morning, and I looked across the park, and there was this man doing these amazing slow movements. And I was absolutely fascinated by what he was doing. It's a black man. And I said, I want to do that someday. And I didn't know what it was because this was decades ago. And when I found Qigong, I said, oh, that's what that was. And it's because that anonymous man in a park somewhere in Chicago a long time ago was doing his morning practice that I got into this, and that we're all here doing this together. I have no idea who he was, but um, that's how it came to be for me. Okay, so we've done the movement, and now we're going to drop into the stillness. This is upright and very relaxed. If you want a systematic approach to this, you can scan the body starting at the bottoms of the feet and just bring your attention up, slowly up the body, and just feel the body and move your attention slowly up. And as you bring attention to the area of the body, then just let it relax. Or you can start at the top of the head if you prefer, and move the attention down the body. Just feel it as you go down. And this is the essence of Qigong. Body and mind are one. And when body and mind are one, and there's this stillness, then you notice the movement within the stillness, which is the breath. And the in-breath is an energizing, uplifting quality to it. The out-breath has, the in-breath is a rising quality. The out-breath is a sinking quality, going down. So if you like, you can do that body scan with every breath. So the in-breath, you bring your attention up the body. Out-breath, down the body. You don't want to close your eyes. You can have them just cast down. So with every breath, there's this sweep of the attention through the body. Very good. And now adding the mind dimension to this, so we can extend this sense of feeling down beyond the body, down into the earth. So when we go down, we feel, the body going down, we feel down the bottoms of the feet, and keep extending that feeling down as if we had roots, feeling. And then when you come up, all the way up, you can extend up beyond the body, up as far as you want to go, and then back down. So it's not just the isolated body, it's the body in connection to what the ancients called earth and heaven. Okay. Okay, very good. Now, let's go ahead and dip the knees and bring the hands up, palms facing the lower dantian. So your thumbs would be right around your navel, and then the palms of the hands facing the body. The name of this, embracing the womb of life. So for a male, we're embracing the connection to the mother, the navel. For a female body, we're embracing the womb within the body. And now we want to slightly move the hands with as the belly expands. Move the hands out just a little. As it relaxes, move them back in just a little bit. Okay, very good. Now, and we'll bring the teaching to mind. So this is the connection through the womb of life, connection to the mother, the grandmother, the great grandmother, the great great grandmother, and so on, back through time. And so we're just remembering them. We're feeling connected way, 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 way back to these ancient people who really truly are here in this body, they're in our DNA. Now, if you like, you can dedicate this period of practice to your ancestors, to an ancestor, to someone who is distant from you, separated from you in some way. You can dedicate this practice to them, or to the ancestral teachers who brought this practice to us. So back through time. Okay? And then before even human life, so we can contemplate that this body is not separate from the earth. The body is composed entirely of the elements of the earth, came from the earth. It is in a constant state of impermanence and will completely return to the earth. So that can be a contemplation, no separation. And then at an even more elemental level, just embracing the chi, the life force energy itself that manifests as form. This is a meditation posture. It's like sitting meditation. It's a standing posture. So see if you can drop your attention down to that still point where the breath, the in-breath begins. There's a point down the abdomen that's still and that begins to move with the in-breath. And this is stillness in the movement. It's a still point. It's at the end of the out-breath. Okay. Okay, very good. Now this is, as I said, a meditation posture. So you can just simply stand in this pose. If you have a sitting practice, you can stand in this pose for a little while and then go into your sitting practice. But this is a pose that's focused on the deep connection um, to the earth and the ancestors and back through time. Goes all the way back to the Big Bang, actually. Okay, all right, very good. Let's dip the knees. So bring the hands up now. So embracing the heart. Now some teachers will do this, one hand in front of the other, and that's fine. Some will do it this way. Whatever's works for you is fine. And the practice here is the same, but when the chest expands, the hands move out. When the chest relaxes, then the hands a little bit come back. So aware of the standing body that's still, and then within the stillness, aware of the movement of the breath. And then within the movement of the breath, the still point at the end of the out breath in the chest. Okay, so here we can bring the teachings to bear. So we know that we're breathing air from outside of ourselves to inside the body and then reversing it with the out breath. And we know that this air is filtered through the trees and plants. And it's the same air breathed by everybody and everything that breathes. So it's a direct connection to the environment. The breath is like a wind moving through this body. Now here, with the out breath, if you want to add mind here, you can expand out with the out breath, expand out in all directions beyond the body. In breath, bring the attention into the body. It's the center of connection. Okay, very good. Now, if you want to dedicate this practice to a person or to people, this is the posture for that. So for instance, if I have a friend who's in distress, medically in distress, so I can bring that person in with the in-breath, and they will be in this center of connection. This is the connection with all people, with all beings. Okay, very good. Now let's drop one hand. Your non-dominant hand drop to the lower. So now we're embracing both at once. And the practice is the same. With the in-breath, let both hands move slightly forward. Out breath, and they come back a little. And there are two still points, one in the belly and one in the chest. And they're vertically aligned. And you may feel a tingling in the palms of your hands. This is the connection between the hands and the torso. Okay, very good. Now, in the process of refining the qi or unifying the dantians, so with the in-breath, we're going to bring our attention from the belly up to the heart, with the out-breath back down. So the in-breath comes up the spine, out-breath down the inside front of the body. And let's drop the lower hand for now. And so the hand movement with the breath. So in-breath, out-breath. Now we're pointing with the fingers now. We're pointing toward the body and then forward. Okay, and then let's alternate hands. Use both of them. This is refining the qi. So we're bringing up the qi from the lower dantian up to the heart, refining it. And it's continually being replenished from what they call the rainbow dew of the earth. So it's rising up from the earth through the body. We want to bring our attention inside the body, up the inside of the spine. If it's useful for you, you can imagine that the finger that's pointing to the body is sending out a beam of light. It's lighting up the spine as it goes up, and then down the front of the body as it goes down. So if that's useful, the main thing is just to feel it though. Okay, very good. Let's do a couple more. Relax. And now, without moving the hands, just using, you can move the eyes if you like. Continue that movement with the breath. Okay, very good. All right. So coming up to the chest, now expanding outwards with the breath. Okay, let's just pause here. So this is a gesture of acceptance. So through the body and extending out the fingers, we're connected into the vast web of life. We're connected to everything. And we're just in acceptance of that, of the world as it is. And then we're bringing all that into the heart. Now the attention is in the middle dantian. And then repeat. So what we're doing is we're dissolving the separation between inside and outside. The air from outside is the same as the air inside. Not separate from all that is. Okay, very good. Let's take 2 more breaths. And back to Dantian's position. In breath, we rise up. Out breath, relax. The lower dantian has to do with earth, human, heaven, verticality. The middle dantian has to do with radiance or connection. So we need both. So we're standing, our posture is upright. We extend our attention down to the earth, down into the earth. Okay, up through the body, out the top of the head, to the universe. This is the lower dantian, this is the verticality. And then moving the attention a little higher, breathing from all directions. Now, my teacher Ken Cohen says, feel the breath expanding in the body, not just frontwards, but behind and to the left and right. So let the chest and the belly expand, not just forward, but in all directions, like balloons. So the whole torso expands and relaxes. Now, all the arm movements come from these centers, okay? And so by that I mean, so let's do cloud hands, for instance. Now we're still at the middle and the lower, aren't we? But now the palms are facing, and turn in the direction of the upper hand. So the hands are going to switch, but the energy for the movement is from the lower Tiens, turning the hips, shifting the weight. Hands are just expressing that. And this is mixing the lower and the middle Tiens, isn't it? Because we're switching the hands. So we're unifying the belly and the heart, we're unifying this. So that the chi flows smoothly in the body. Okay. Now, if you're going to be bigger with this and more free with it, but it's more fun, that starts down in the hips, down in the waist. The arms are going to express this, but there's a lot more vigor down in the lower dantian. Okay, good. And this also brings in left and right, instead of just, not just up and down. Okay, all right, let's reduce the movement. Okay. Relax. Just come back to the vertical posture. Now, if you bring the attention to the palms, my teacher, Trisha Yu, calls this pulling taffy. So the middle and the upper hand, the lower and the upper hands, so this is compressing and expanding the chi. Okay, very good. And you can go sideways. Reduce the movement. And let's go back to cloud hands. Now this one will do the diagonal flying. So the lower hand is going to go way up, and the upper hand is going to do the opposite. Okay. So, but remember, we're not moving the hands and arms so much as we're moving the lower dantian. So we're going to wind up, sink down, and send out the arms. Then come back, and now they switch. Sink down, send out. Good. Wind up, send out. It's very expressive, but it's driven by the thighs the waist, the hips, the lower body, the lower dantian is driving all of these expressive movements with the arms and hands. And that's the basis of the martial arts, is that all of the kicks, punches, blocks come from the belly, the legs, the hips. Um, and then again, this is mixing the lower and the middle, isn't it? Because the hands are switching. The lower one becomes the middle one becomes the lower. Okay, good. Let's do a couple more. And then, so moving from this to this, we're focusing the attention now through the palms into the body. So, and whenever we do that, we come right back to the stillness of the body, the movement within the stillness, the breath, and the stillness within that movement. This is the interplay of yin and yang. Okay, so the stillness of the posture, the movement inside the posture of the breath, the stillness in the breath, those are the still points, the end of the out breath, stillness in the breath, and the movement within that stillness, that's the qi. So that you can sense the qi by the warmth, the presence of the warmth of the body, and the presence of the tingling. So at the end of the out breath, in those still points, they're alive. They're not empty, they're alive, they're full, they're vibrating. That's the movement within the stillness, within the movement, within the stillness. You can focus the attention on any one of these. Relax. Feel the stillness of the body, the posture, the alignment. We can feel the movement of the breath. At the end of the out breath, there's the stillness within the breath. And when we place our attention in that stillness, we're in touch with the vibrating, pixelated, tingling quality of the life force energy. So in this meditation posture, you can put the attention on any or all of those stillness and movement qualities. You may notice your palms bottoms of the feet. Okay. Let's take a few more breaths. Okay, just loosen up. Let's go ahead and bring up our meditation stool or cushion or chair. And just be comfortable and loosen up. Just let your body just relax. Place your hands in your mudra, whatever that might be. One of the Taoist mudras is fingers in touch with the thumbs. Whatever one suits. And let's sort of readjust, feel into the posture here. Usually we need to drop the chin just a little bit, and we need to pull the shoulders back just a tiny bit, and that sort of straightens us up. So just mentioning the three dantians, and they correspond to body, breath, and mind. So the lower dantian is body, physicality, body, and the middle dantian, breath. The upper dantian in the brain is mind, body, breath, and mind. Now, this is just convenient because obviously the body's everywhere. The body is all three, and the breath, every cell in the body is breathing. And the mind, the consciousness is in the life force energy, which is in the entire body. So it's not that they're separate. It's just convenient. It's just a way of organizing this. And we bring in the mind, we extend our sense of touch, our feeling, drop right through the body and down out the perineum, the bottoms of the feet, and down into the earth. And the earth is alive too. With the in-breath, we bring our attention up the body, and out breath, out the top of the head, and extend way, way, way out. This is just like the tree with its roots and branches. Okay, very good. And now, so bringing the attention now to the heart. So this is the radiant center. In other words, we radiate out and connect beyond the body. We connect through the heart. So this is the practice of breathing the stars, for instance, or breathing through the pores of the skin, filling up the torso, and then breathing out the pores of the skin, emptying. And the vertical is still there. And then this kind of spherical, this radiant is there. At the end of the out breath, there's a still point. At the still point, the radiant and the vertical both disappear. And then, as we discovered in the still point is made up of the life force energy, the vibrating, tingling, warm, which is felt as presence, consciousness. And we can, as we're coming to a close, we can just remember the ancestors maybe that we invited in, the Lord on Tien. They're there, they're always there. We can bring our attention to the heart if we invited in someone to be with us in the practice. We don't have to release them or let them go necessarily. You can if you want, but they can just there. That's okay. And see if you can feel the breath expanding in all directions, like a balloon. Okay, let's take a few more breaths. If you want to dedicate your practice, the merit of your practice to another person or beings or people, that the benefits of this practice will serve other beings besides just ourselves. Okay, let's take a few more breaths. And just slowly just move a little bit. Okay, very good. Okay, the count of three, we'll clap one time. 1, 2, 3. And massage the face. Okay, and then make loose fists, tap the kidneys. And massage the kidneys. Okay. Thank you so much for your presence and for your practice. And if you would like to slip off the Zoom, that's fine. That's great. If you'd like to stay for conversation, feel free to do that. Okay. Okay.
Did you hit the recording button?
Do the recording button. Got